Hi everybody, I'm Mike. This is Budget Guns and Gear Reviews. Today we're going to take a look at the Camillus Carnivore X. Stick around. Maybe we'll learn something together. Those of you that saw my Barracuda machete review know that I weren't impressed with it. One of the comments asked what I thought about this machete, so I decided to go ahead and pick one up and see what I thought about it. I'll tell you right away, first impressions are that it's much more sturdily built than the Barracuda, the UST Barracuda. It looks like it's got a thicker blade, absolutely much better handle. I mean, you don't get 9 feet of paracord, but it looks like you get a handle that you can actually work. Obviously, I'm going to reserve final judgment until I take a swing at some stuff with it, but first looks, it looks like it's good. We'll wait until it's in the hand, though. Looking at the package, it comes with the main blade, and what they call a trimming knife. Doesn't feel bad in the hand. I'll definitely give it that. It feels a whole lot better than that UST thing. This feels kind of cheap and cheesy. Well, it seems reasonably sharp. We'll see. The sheath to it comes kind of folded up like that. There's a sheath for the smaller blade. That might be reasonably sharp once it is. I would use some fine grit sandpaper to refine that edge. That's more of a Scandi grind, which is good. It's not, doesn't look like it's a hollow grind, which I always don't like a hollow grind. I just don't. I think they're weaker. Has a wire edge on it, so it definitely needs to be stropped for sure. Let's see what the little trimming blade will do with paper. It needs a bit of refinement. I mean, if you get it started, maybe not that bad, but getting it started is kind of a pain. It needs some refinement for sure, but it has potential. Goes in this little sheath, which comes attached to the big sheath. It snaps off, has a snap, and then secures under this Velcro strap. I would be hesitant, because I suspect it's gonna poke right through that bottom there. If you want to wear this on your belt or your web gear or something as a belt loop, personally, I would just kind of snap it onto its parent sheath and then secure the little knife itself in there with the Velcro strap. That looks like that's how you're supposed to do it. The big one has a plastic liner, and you just put the big old knife in there. Sheath seems pretty fair quality. It's got nice foam padding in the nylon. It kind of stiffens it a bit. We'll see how it holds up over extended use, and we'll take it out to the woods and really see how it works. Let me see how what the sharpness is like. See, this is a hollow grind on this blade, and I don't like that. I don't like a hollow grind on a machete. Really, I would prefer something like a Scandi grind or a saber grind, but you know, hollow grinds are fairly cheap to produce. However, it leaves an edge that's kind of weak for chopping. Really, if they just left it a flat bar and sharpened the edge, it would be better as a machete, I think. It'd be a lot sturdier. So we'll see how this does with paper out of the box. Well, not too shabby. I can't, I gotta say I'm kind of surprised about that. That's a pretty fair edge for a machete right out of the box factory. I gotta give that one a A+. Good on you guys, Camillus. But machetes aren't really made for shaving paper, are they? So we'll see how it does in the brush. Let's take a look at what the Camillus Carnivore X does at what a machete's supposed to do, cutting some brush. Well, I'll tell you right now, it's a lot better than that thing that UST decided to call a machete. That's a fact. This will actually cut brush instead of just breaking it. Let's take a whack at some of these small dead limbs, see how it does. Not super great. Not seeing any real edge deformation. Let's see how the saw works on this limb. Not real good, I can tell you right now. The saw has too wide of a kerf to really work good as a saw. I could wish that they'd left this flat. Actually, I'm not a big fan of this as a saw. I mean, maybe if you were trying to make notches or something. And then trying to get in there and pop out what you were working on. Maybe. But as a saw, it pretty much sucks. By way of comparison, here's what the actual saw will do. I mean, this Corona razor tooth will go right through it. Let's give it the same test we gave the Fisker's hatchet, the Ozark Trail hatchet, and the Harbor Freight Fireman's axe. We're gonna whack it into this cherry tree and see if the edge holds up. So far, from hitting the brush and whatnot, there are no edge problems. We'll see how it is after it hits this wood. Now obviously this isn't something you would typically do with a machete, but I'm not typical, am I? So far, it's looking pretty good. There doesn't seem to be any edge deformation. Let's see if we can get it to baton through this piece of hardwood. Now again, batoning isn't something I would necessarily do with a machete, but we're going to try this out anyway. Well, it appears to be making big sticks into little sticks anyway. Let's see if we can get any kind of feather sticks done with this. That front edge, yeah. Let's see. Again, that's not something I would necessarily choose a machete to do with, but it is getting some curls. Didn't do too bad a job making feather sticks with it. I'm Mike, this is Budget Guides and Gear Reviews. This was my look at the Camillus Carnivore X titanium bonded machete. Overall, I wouldn't feel unhappy with having this as my go-to cutting blade in the woods. Just keep in mind its limitations. The saw is not really a good saw. Maybe for small limbs or making notches or something like that, sure. Cutting brush does a really good job. It'll even cut small diameter branches and limbs, so it'll do well for that. It'll take firewood and turn it into kindling, and you can make feather sticks with it. So overall, I'm not unhappy with it. I'd give it a plus. If you like what you saw, please like, share, subscribe. Make sure when you subscribe you hit the notification button so you know when I put out videos or my weekly live stream, The Right of the People, Friday nights at 7 p.m. Eastern. If you really like what you saw, please consider becoming a patron on my Patreon account. Every little bit helps. Until I see you again, come on back. Maybe we'll learn something together.
What you want?